All right, so thanks for joining me. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some portfolio strategies and to give you some insight on that. And if you want to learn more about these kinds of things, definitely check out our website. If you're new to trading options, go to the blog section. There's a lot of free stuff here. There's a getting started section over here. There's also one-on-one coaching that I do if you want to have some jump start concepts and video sessions together. One-on-one coaching is a great way to get started. You could do a single session, or if you really want to work together like a piano teacher for 3 months or longer, we can do that as well. You can check that out in that coaching area with here. All right, so let's get started. I want to show you some portfolio concepts about how to group your positions, because when you're getting started with a portfolio, there's a lot of things that you may want to consider, because you're not going to just have one or two positions. Like a portfolio is going to have a ton of different strategies and positions in here. Now, most people, what they do when they do a portfolio, they have like 5 or 6 stocks, or it might be like 1 or 2 ETFs. But when you're dealing with option trading, you're going to have a lot of different things. And what's important to think about is how are you going to categorize these things? And you might be categorizing things based on theta or time decay positions. It could be based on strategy positions. So that's all a personal preference, but I'm going to show you how you can do this. But this is really what you want to do is when you see kind of a portfolio, you're really spreading things out in different areas where you've got, some money over here, some money over here, some money over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, all over the place. And that way, if any one trade goes against you, like let's say all these are bad, you got the other, pot to be able to do okay for you. So anyways, that's what we're looking at. And splitting these things up, what you could do is start putting on different positions at different points and, tweaking based on categories. Now here, what we can do is go into, if you don't have the categories, there's a little sign. This is, by the way, the TOS or thinkorswim platform. We can go here, make sure we show the groups, and then what we can do is add a group. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We can add a group. Now this group function will come up over here, and you might say, hey, well, what about iron condors? Okay, if you like trading iron condors, we went ahead and just created an iron condor section right there. Okay, now where does this really go? Okay, what it's going to do is it's got this collapsed area right there. It's going to be right here. Okay, so you weren't able to see it because it's hidden under all of that stuff, kind of, but it's right there. Okay, so what we can do then is, okay, if I've got some iron condors, like let's say I've got one on, I think it's XHB right here, and this one I'm actually buying an iron condor rather than selling. So you can see I'm losing a little bit of money here, but it is moving. So I'm trying to just get some movement. But what I can do is start saying, okay, well, if that's an iron condor, I'm going to go ahead and put that iron condor and move it to a group. So I'll just select all these options. The way that I would do that is I just click the top one, click and drag, kind of highlight it, right click, move to group. Okay, there we go. Right click, move to group, and then say iron condors, you go to the iron condors. And then what it's going to do is go boom, and it's all the way in the iron condor section now. There it is. So that's one way to do it, is now I've got different strategies, and I could say, hey, okay, well, what about another segment? Well, I could go in and do this again, add a group. Now I will add another group. We're going to call it verticals. Okay. And now I've got my verticals area. So I could say, okay, well, what about here? I'll say, okay, let me find a vertical. I've got Pinterest over here. Here's a vertical. Take this, move to a group, verticals. And now let me just do some housekeeping. Here's Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm going to go ahead and move all of this to, let's say, long investments. XLE, this is going to be a vertical. Okay. And now what I've got is starting to tidy this up. What is Home Depot? I got a lot of stuff in there. Okay, so I've got, okay, let's see here. I've got double calendars and all, calendars and diagonals all over the place. So what you could do is set up another area for diagonals if you like. I'm not going to do that. It's a little excessive bowing. I could also say this. Okay, verticals I'm selling. Okay, so that could be into the vertical section. Okay, it's only got a day to go. So anyway, I've got things organized. So now what's nice about doing this is what you can do is start looking at it just based on that individual category. Now, the way to do that is there's going to be an area at the very, very top, and I'm going to move it kind of to the center for you guys so you could see it. Okay, so if I go right here to the top, you can switch your account. Now you can say, hey, I want to look at the iron condors, verticals, or long portfolio, or theta. So let's say I just want to look at the iron condors. Now it just shows the iron condor area. Or I could go to the verticals, shows just the verticals, and then it shows you kind of the profit and loss just from the verticals or your total as well. Or you could go to long portfolio. So you could switch it, or you could go to that whole account. So think of this as making little sub accounts. Kind of like, hey, I got a savings account, a travel account, that kind of thing. And that's what you're doing. So in here, you've got all of them, but in each one of these, you could have it right here. You could create other things like based on a category of saying, hey, watch out for these, or these are like bullish positions. So you could have, okay, bullish, or let's say dangerous, danger position. So I've got one in danger right now, and that's, I could actually move the Boeing one. Where my Boeing is. Here's my Boeing. It could say, hey, this one's in danger. Say, move that to the danger zone. Haha, danger zone, right? See how we did that? Okay, or Microsoft here in the money. Let's move that to the danger zone. So now these are the ones I might be watching a little more closely. They're like in there, and then you can always keep an eye on stuff like that. And with time, you could say, hey, these are safe, these are not safe, and then you can work it that way. So here I've got there 5 shares of Microsoft, or these that are not doing well. So I could close them out because I noticed in my portfolio these were dangerous, and I can try and close that out. Okay. So that's kind of how you might approach this from a portfolio basis of looking at this, because when you're dealing with a portfolio, you're looking at spreading your capital in different spots. It's a little bit here, a little bit there, verticals, iron condors, mix and matching things all over the place. So here I've got BBBY, you know, I got a ton of stuff on here, and look, this thing's got 5,000 shares, and then I'm selling premium against it. And now that it popped, I'm kind of good to go. I might say, hey, well, let me go ahead and close all of these out. You know, even though I'm losing a bit on this, but the shares finally popped, so I'm good, you know. So you could say, okay, well, let me trim this position. But anyway, point being is you're looking at each one of these as little segments to your bigger picture. It's like running a fish store or like a grocery store business. I've got some fruit over here. I've got some fish. I got some berries. I got milk. Okay, sometimes the milk is doing well and selling well, sometimes the fish, sometimes the candy. You know, my kids, they always want the candy. Okay, and then you got milk, berries, fruit. Which ones are selling? Which ones are doing well? And that's what you're doing here. It's like, which ones are happening? Which ones are working? You know, don't put just like, you know, 50 contracts into 2 positions. Oh man, that's just asking for a disaster, because then what you're going to end up happening is you're going to have first a really happy face and be happy about it because if it's going in your favor, but then all of a sudden, oh no, that one stock went down. That's not going to be good. So it'll be very sad. All right. Anyway, I hope that helps from a portfolio basis, understanding how it works and how you might structure things and organize and group things together. Truly appreciate you joining me. Definitely check out our website. There's a lot of great courses out there. If you're brand new, getting started in the options world, check that out. Check out all these new courses and classes we've got going on if you're a self-study person. But if you really want to work one-on-one, that's actually the bulk of what I do, is working with people together. You can trade together for 6 months plus, one-on-one, you know, mini little groups, that kind of thing, single coaching sessions. Just reach out. I'd be happy to work with you. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video episode, maybe a course, maybe a class, or maybe a one-on-one session. So I'll see you then next time.